Caribbean British, Caribbeans were advised not to date Africans, and vice versa.
Wait a minute. This is an important piece.
I know.
Because you say the same thing.
I know, I saw your episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also,
Yeah.
So leaving us as African Americans out of this, because our people don't know this.
Yeah.
Your parents, I mean, they know yours per se, but your family was saying, do not bring me home somebody African for the most part.
Yeah.
And their family was saying,
don't
do it.
Because they would say, no, they don't know who they are. We know our name. We could trace our lineages. These are slave babies. They're beneath us.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Repat Podcast. And that's if you're moving back to Africa or wanting to come here and do things. We have some particular tips on how to do things for those people who want to come back to the continent, especially if it's in Uganda. But today we have a special guest. I'll introduce my co-host Jonita first.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi guys, the name is Jonita Maya, presenter and manager with Kenganda, and we have an amazing host in the building.
Oh, I thought you said
Yeah,
host. I was
yeah.
thinking, yes.
Oh, sorry, an amazing guest. Wow.
So DJ Maintain in the building.
good.
Living in Uganda for over 3 years now. Mm-hmm. I'm not leaving.
I'm staying here.
Yeah, I'm staying here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you all.
All right. Give him a round of applause.
Big up King Gandalf.
Y'all know how we doing. We got some things in plan for you guys. We're going to show y'all why we the truth. Y'all be hating on me. It's okay. You still broke. What? But anyways, in all seriousness, y'all know I love you. Brother, you know a lot of people in the Black American community, because most of the people here that hate me so much every day, they from the States. That's why they here. They here to hate on me.
Really?
Probably so. But we always talk about, like when I was coming up, there was somewhat of, at first it wasn't a much of a problem. Mm-hmm. But then there was a problem between, most notably, sometimes you get it with like African Americans in the Caribbean community. Right. But not really so strong because we're typically, like Jamaicans and African Americans created hip hop.
Straight.
Really, Jamaicans, a Jamaican created hip hop and African American. So, we got
100%.
people like Jay-Z who has an African American father and a Caribbean father. Same thing with Notorious B.I.G.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But we always know about the African American versus African beef. It's a big topic here on YouTube. Tariq Nasheed talks about it.
Right.
But we didn't know in London. I just found this out like last year. There was a big beef between British Africans and British Caribbeans. Probably one of the biggest beefs in diaspora in history happened right there in the UK.
Yep.
Is it true or am I just bull?
It's true.
Okay. How did it all start up?
So let me try and get this accurate as possible.
All right.
So when the Caribbean community were, and I've got to be important with this, invited by the Commonwealth, Great Britain, to come over to help Great Britain rebuild after the war.
Okay.
Right. So they was advertised in all the colony outposts, work here in Great Britain, you'll become a citizen, good money, housing, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Right. That's when my parents and other people's parents came over.
All right.
So we've gone, like Caribbeans, gone through the hardship, gone through all of that, put up with all the racism, just to get a foothold.
Right.
Then I believe Africans started coming in around about the same time or just after. But I think because of the links between Africa and the British Empire, they had a little bit more of a foothold.
Okay.
A little bit more to offer because the continent of Africa is huge, right? So, so they've got a little bit more to offer than,
What do you mean to say? You mean as far as resources?
Resources, yeah.
Okay.
So there was sort of like an envy, it created sort of like a little bit of conflict. And when I was growing up, and for what I remember, the conflict was always about, your name. and your heritage. And you know, it was always arguments on that point. So like, you know, Caribbean British, Caribbeans were advised not to date African, and vice versa.
Wait a minute. This is an important piece.
I know.
Because you say the same thing.
I know, I saw your episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
So also,
Yeah.
so leaving us as African Americans out of this, because our people don't know this.
Yeah.
Your parents, I mean, they know yours per se, but your family was saying, do not bring me home somebody African for the most part.
Yeah.
And their family was saying,
Don't do
it.
Because we don't. They would say no. They don't know who they are. We know our name. We could trace our lineages. These are slave babies. They're beneath us. And when you was out, sometimes not all Africans. Some you could see when you was out, the looks you would get, and you know, because culturally, you know, there's some differences, and you could see it, you could feel it.
Can you give me an example of some of those differences?
So like, Caribbeans, we're very loud. Yeah, very loud.
Oh yeah.
Like if I see you across the road, I'm a holler, yo, brother, what I did, yo, like, and African people like look at like, oh my god, like they see what they've become, like they were taken away and they've come back with this sort of behavior, and so it's like, you know, we're suppose we're not demure enough and like kind of well behaved in a sense. So that's one example.
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
Jonita
is
over here smiling because she says the same thing about me. You're too loud.
He's too loud.
Yeah. And Africans also do the same thing. They look at me like, shut the up. And I'm like yelling across the street. But it's just what we do. Yeah. And it's the same example.
If I brought you to a family gathering, Joan, you would be like this.
It's too loud.
It's like I remember I put it on my story once when my first year living in Uganda, and I went back to see my family, and I put it on my story, and I watched the story back. I was like, wow, we're loud. But I think it's just little differences like that, and it's obviously compelled by the way Caribbean people are portrayed and the way African people are portrayed. And back then, you know, media was your only outlet, so you kind of believed what they said. And so when you believe in what the white media is saying about black people, and you're taking that prejudice into your everyday life, it's just messed up.
Can I ask you a question? What were some of the things? Because obviously, you have Africans who like Ghanaians, Nigerians, people from Sierra Leone. Those are some of the countries. Maybe Zimbabwe.
South Africa. a lot of Zambians.
Zambia.
A lot of Zimbabweans, a lot of South Africans.
Okay.
But
probably more dominated by Nigerians and Ghanaians.
The main is Nigerians, Ghanaians, and there's one other. Because a lot of like Senegalese and Congolese, they go to France. They don't really come to London. So I think that's it. And Benin.
Kenya, maybe.
Kenya, a lot of Kenyans.
Like Kenya.
A lot of Kenyans.
So what were some of the things that they were saying about? Because the white government says different things about like African Americans, but what did they say about like the Caribbean stereotypes that they were pushing, and then the African stereotypes?
Caribbean stereotypes were broken homes, absent fathers, we're lazy, we're thieves, rapists. Pretty every derogatory thing you could say about a person, that's what they would say about us. Like there were signs put up indoors when my mum and dad were in London, and they have a sign. It would be no dogs, no blacks, no Irish. These were signs on doors, and the Tory prime ministerial campaign was if I hate to use this word, but if you want to for a neighbour, vote Labour.
Oh my God.
If you want to leave, vote Conservative. That's why black people in London will never vote for Boris Johnson and the Conservatives, because we know what they're about. So it's that sort of rhetoric, and the way the media portrayed us is what has molded my experience in London. And then Africans came over, saw that in the media, believed it, and then also there's the sort of divide through the whole slave baby thing, and like we've been pulled away from our heritage, so we're not the same anymore. You can't relate to us, so that piled on top of it, just made it even worse. But as time's gone on, and more unity's been, just through people traveling and more information being readily available, it's mended a lot of bridges. Mended a lot of bridges. Still, obviously, there's still old school that believe what they believe, but moving forward, it's mended so many bridges, and you see so many Africans and Caribbeans dating now. But when I was growing up,
nothing happened.
Forget about it.
Yeah. Now, this is a history lesson for me, because as an African, I didn't know that was happening. I'm sure that some Africans out there watching this and they're shocked and they're learning. But do you think the exact thing is still ongoing in this modern day era? Do you think the Caribbeans and the Africans are still at each other? I know you say they mended their ways and whatnot, but do you see something that's still there?
They're still at each other. There's still some people that, for whatever reason, they believe the hype, they believe what the media kind of puts out there, and they're still, they still have that sort of prejudice in them. So it's not, it hasn't gone away 100%, but it's better than it was. But there's still some, like I went to, like I'd be out of I've got loads of Nigerian friends, and I was out with this girl, and she's like, oh, he's a nice boy, yeah, he's lovely, yeah. Where's Peter's from? Oh, he's from Caribbean. She won't take back the fact she thinks I'm nice, but I'm not good enough for your daughter anymore.
Because now you're
yeah. So there's still little things.
Oh my
but
God.
I see. Yeah. Let me ask you one question, because I did a show with a young lady, the Afropolitan Podcast.
Oh.
She's a British Ugandan. Shout out to her.
Yeah.
But so she's a British Ugandan.
Right.
And I did a show with another brother in London called King Riches. And they kind of both talked about this, at least at some point.
Yeah.
But they said at some point that a lot of Africans were kind of they were ashamed, because, like, at the time the Caribbeans had like the reggae thing going. And so they were kind of dominating the music and the culture. And before Afrobeats,
that was a big issue.
So let's talk about that, because a lot of Africans, I heard that sometimes they were going around saying that they were actually Caribbean because they were ashamed to be African. Did that actually happen?
That happened.
Okay.
That happened a lot. So I had a lot of African friends who I thought were Jamaican, because Jamaican culture is powerful, right? It's like that God. From that small island, it's taken over the world. Just say Bob Marley anywhere, you know who this guy is. Bound Killer, Beanie Man. You know who these people are. So a lot of Africans were getting like really, really bad, like teased really badly and bullied and like just being put through things anyone shouldn't really be put through. So to get by, you adopted a Caribbean persona. You spoke in Caribbean slang. You went to all the Caribbean clubs and things like that. And so that happened. It's basically a surviving mechanism. Like the Indian community in London used to do it. So in East London back in the day, it still is probably, very racist. And Indian people get their shops broken into, they'd get their cars smashed up, everything. So Indians started putting Jamaican flags in their cars and in their shop windows. So people would be like, oh, okay, they're Caribbean, and if I try and break it, the Jamaicans probably gonna come out and kick my ass. Right? So they put flags in their cars and in their shop windows just to be left alone. So it was and I think that's where it comes from. It's like Caribbeans feel we put in all this legwork. We fought all these races. Like my dad, there was a crew of people when he was growing up. They're called Teddy Boys, and they're dressed in Dr. Martens. Like the braces, the white shirt, skinheads. My dad was fighting Teddy Boys all the time. Like he actually got put in prison because of it. And he showed he was innocent, and they released him, which is a first. Okay. And so Caribbeans feel like we've done all of this fighting, getting beaten up earlier, and then you come here and then you can't even embrace us. And you're
wait a minute. Let's say it again.
You come here and live in the same life we do, but you're not embracing us.
Sounds like somebody else that has that same argument in America.
So I think it comes from that as well. Like when I remember I bought a pair of Dr. Martens. I went round to my dad's house to my mum and dad's house. Sorry, just for afternoon. My mum's an amazing cook. Go get some food. He looked straight down at my Dr. Martens. Goes, "Oh, you're wearing Teddy Boy shoes."
Yeah, it's the same thing in America. It's the same thing in America. Doc Martens, like if you wear that, you're erasing your skinhead.
You're skinhead. Yeah,
off top.
I can imagine my dad's in his 60s now, mid 60s. First thing he saw, Teddy Boy. Imagine like the trauma. It can't. I was like, raw. Like I want to sit. My dad's very like he's more of an observer, but I would love to get him sitting down and just.
Let me ask you this because, like, my mom went to. You heard of UC Berkeley?
Yes, I have.
So there's another good school in the system. I was called UC Davis. It's one of the best public universities it's like UCLA.
Right. Okay.
That system. Oh, wow. So UCLA, UC Irvine, UC. Yeah. I went to UC Davis in the 60s. So I think like also we saw a lot of big African migration come over like during instability in Africa. Like there's the Biafra War. So then what we started to see is like the Nigerians who were coming over, and they were getting scholarships from historically black colleges and universities too. At the time, Africa was doing, before that, they were sending their students over to America, coming to go into Tuskegee, you're going to Howard. Yeah. But then like when Ghana had their civil wars, some of their best people started to come to America. Like they were like already doing well there. Yeah. So they came in as elites. So was there ever something happening where, because in America, the beef because the African community, they're a small community, they kind of outperform the larger African American community in academics. Yes. Is that also the same thing that happens in the Caribbean? And who's doing better?
African children.
They're okay. Yeah. Like, especially, is it the Nigerians?
Especially the Nigerians.
Let's explain how that works, because I know that's the argument they're going to use. Like, y'all are dumb, we smart. Are they gonna say that? They tell us that too all the time.
They wouldn't be as raw as that, but they would just say like we lack drive. We're lazy. Like, look, I've come here. I'm doing it. Why can't you? But there's a whole different set of circumstances as to why you're doing better and Caribbean children aren't. I think African children are looked at in a different light. You know, they're seen as smart. And you come from an amazing continent with loads of resource, and a lot of people have made good money. So if you can afford to send your child from this amazing continent to the West Coast, the USA, East Coast, London, your child is of a different what's the word, mindset. Because they're looking at their parents, and their parents own businesses. Their aunties, uncles own businesses. Their family is successful. They don't know any different. Whereas Caribbean children, we've come over, and my parents have done amazingly well. They own their home. They're retired now. They ain't want for nothing, but they've had to work really hard. And I've seen it. That's what I've seen. So I've seen through hard work, you can get somewhere, but it's hard. And I've dealt with being at school, teacher asking me, what do you want to be? I said, well, I'm good at art, so I think I want to be a graphic designer. Not a lot of black people in that field maintain. Why don't you be a carpenter? Now, I'm a kid who doesn't know any better. I think you have my best interests at heart.
So the white person is telling you.
Telling me.
Yeah.
Be a carpenter. Don't be a graphic designer. Be a carpenter. So I believe you got my best interests at heart, right? You're a teacher.
Yeah.
So you've got some sort of moral compass, some sort of ethics. So imagine we've just been beat down, and we just think, well, what's the point? I feel I'm smart enough. I feel I'm talented enough, but all I'm good enough to be is a bricklayer, a carpenter, electrician, get into the police force, and they get racially abused in the police force. What's the point?
It's the same thing Malcolm X's teacher told him. You want to be a lawyer?
Yeah.
Be a carpenter. Same exact thing.
That's it. And then some kids, they get, their heads get turned. And they see another guy in the neighborhood they're growing up in, like, look at him, he's pushing a beam. What's he doing? And then they get seduced by that lifestyle, and then they get into the drug game. And then some get in it and say, well, this is way too dangerous, should be out. Some like, oh, I like this. Control my own hours, get what I want, make the money I want, get the chicks I want, because now I got money. And then they get into that life. So it's It's just, different perceptions.
Now, I know you said put the African Americans aside, but let's just bring them back in the room for a second. Just a second. No one should come for me. Now, so the African Americans face a lot of police brutality, and there's like a whole scheme, a grand scheme to put them in jails and whatnot. If you watch the Netflix documentary, you can see all of that. Yeah. Now, if Africans and Caribbeans are the same skin color, did you face that problem together? Or was it like, the police will treat Africans differently and the Caribbeans differently?
No, they treat us the same.
Oh.
Yeah, they would treat us the same. But I think that was probably when I was growing up, probably one of the few times we actually came together and like, this is BS. But when I was growing up, police brutality was just a part of life.
Yeah.
It was just I knew if I was out late and a police car went by me or police van went by me, I'd get stopped. So I remember one instance, I must have been in 17.
Yeah.
And I was coming back from my then girlfriend's house. It must have been like 1 a.m. And she lived in a really nice area, loads of big houses and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I'm walking back to where I live and it's really cold. So I just flicked up my collars like that. And as I flicked up my collars, I looked that way and a police van went past me.
Oh my God.
So I heard, you can hear when a car's turning around and the engine sounds different. And now they're turning around. So they stopped me and they went, where are you coming from? I was like, my girlfriend's house. I said, may I ask why you're stopping me? Do I fit the description of someone who's committed a crime in the area? Because that's the only reason why you would be stopping me. Yeah. So, there's a lot of burglaries in this area and it's late and, we're just doing our job. I was like, okay, there's way more of them than I am. Let me just just keep it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's like, have you got any ID on you? No, I just got a key and a £1 coin. And it was like, can we search you? I was like, yeah, you're just gonna find what I told you. In my pockets, I found a key and a £1 coin. Yeah. So is there any anything to prove who you are at your girlfriend's house? Yeah, she's got pictures of me on the wall on her bedroom. And it's can we go back there? It's 1 a.m. No. Like that. So when I answered like that, they got a bit touchy. And because I ain't saying, like some of my friends would say, I had their ass and cuss them. Yeah. And I was keeping it straight. They were like, you see them getting more and more angry. So they looked up my name. So they ran my name. And my dad, remember I told you earlier, my dad used to have fights with teddy boys. They still go on record. And then my sister had a fight, and she got charged with ABH. So they started trying to wind me up, say, oh, your family's a bunch of wrong-uns, isn't it? Like, that's me. That was ages ago, and it's clear. Like, what are you bringing it up for? And it's them. Is your brother a bit of a gangster? Your brother's name looks familiar. It's me. My brother is the furthest thing from gangster you could ever think about. And they just didn't like the way I was speaking to them. And then I think they just wanted me to say something wrong so they could beat me up. But they couldn't. And then one of his colleagues came over and whispered in his ear something like, this is going nowhere. He's clearly a good kid and he's doing everything you've asked him. Is checked out. So just let him go. And the guy literally didn't want to let me go. And for the rest of the walk home, I was just looking over my shoulder.
Yeah. They were following you.
Yeah. I thought they was just going to come back for me and just scoop me up and put me in the van. So yeah, it's just deal with stuff like that all the time.
Let me ask you this. I know Juniper has a question, but let me ask you this real quick. Yeah. So now Afro beats has come along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You seen like even Americans know about Burna Boy now. And it's kind of over. I'm not saying that reggae is still not, because dance hall is still popular. It's more popular here than even hip hop is in the club.
That surprised me a lot as a DJ.
Like even in Kenya, it's like real popular.
I play an old school bashment set here. It goes off.
Yeah.
It goes off. I'm like, whoa. Yeah.
So dance hall, I noticed that the dance hall music in the club is popular, but hip hop as a culture is probably a little bit more popular outside with the dance and all that stuff and spoken word. But now that Afro beats is like here to stay, there's no denying it.
Yeah,
and you now live in Africa as a Caribbean. How has your perception changed about the continent of Africa? And how do you think that the Caribbean world, I know like Cardi B is a Dominican, she's come to Nigeria and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How do you think that's changing now since the cultures are now kind of like blending?
I think it's just another positive image to be presented to the world other than what is normally presented, right? And I think it's great to have two, like you got bashment, soca from the Caribbean, and you've got Afrobeat from Africa, and artists are starting to merge and link up and sort of like kind of like break down the stigma attached to doing a show in Africa. You know what I mean? Because I listen to podcasts and Fat Joe's been over here, Rick Ross has been over, like people coming over and seeing it for themselves and seeing the potential and the possibility and the great lifestyle you could have. And I think that's what's really good about Afrobeat in a minute. And it's made me stand up and take notice. Because when I came here, all I had was like West African Afrobeats.
Yeah.
I didn't know about Wyke Bender, Eddie Kenzo,
Yeah.
Spice, Diana, and all these different artists and
Shiba.
Diamond, Shiba, Diamond Platinum,
Yeah.
all of that.
That dude is huge, man.
Yo, so I'm coming here and I'm like, oh my God, I've got to relearn.
Yeah.
I thought my Serato crates had it all. Like I thought I'm good.
Yeah.
And then the uncles at Skies are like, you're a good DJ, but next time I come here, more local.
Yeah.
I had to study and I was like, yo, this is dope.
Yeah.
This is dope.
Now, there's some things you mentioned that I think not many of us know. What's a telly boy? If you could just explain that, because I didn't get
A teddy boy.
a teddy
teddy
boy.
boy,
A teddy
right.
boy.
White racist.
Yeah. Basically, it was a group of white males dressed in a certain way, basically skinheads, and they used to go around and basically beat up anyone or try to beat up anyone that didn't look like them. And my dad ran into a lot of issues with them. If he had a few of his friends, he could normally fight them off. If he was on his own, basically had to run. So yeah, Teddy Boys, skinhead, probably pretty much the same thing.
Yeah. I'm sure some people didn't know what it meant.
So yeah, there was like when my dad was over in the 60s, just trying to make his way. He was always running into them.
Yeah.
And my dad's very quiet. He's very chilled, laid back, but if you steps into his space, he's gonna handle you.
Yeah.
And that's what would happen.
Yeah.
So.
Could you teach us like 2 Caribbean slangs? You know, the spirit of togetherness. I sound like an African politician.
Spirit of togetherness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Just
What's
like
some London
one.
Caribbean? What's some London Caribbean slang?
Yeah.
London Caribbean slang.
Yeah, any Caribbean slang.
London Caribbean slang. So we say wagwan a lot.
Yeah.
Which is like what's up? We say
Wagwan.
wagwan. Like, another Caribbean slang, wagwan.
When you're shouting, what do you shout? Because you said you're loud. What's the one thing you're shouting about?
It's normally to get somebody's attention.
What did you say? Yo?
Yow. So
Yow.
yeah. So we don't say yo, we say yow. As a Caribbeans, we say yow a lot.
Yow.
We be like yo, and then you get their attention, and then you be like yo, yeah. Blood. We say blood a lot.
Yeah.
Fam.
Blood is like a friend.
Yeah, friend. So someone you consider a good friend.
Yeah.
You call them blood.
Oh, like that's my blood.
Yeah, we say blood.
Yeah. Same thing.
Fam, king. We say king a lot now.
Oh.
Yeah. Another one. I know this stuff.
You talking about
Yeah,
king
it's
when you're
okay.
referring to somebody else black?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
Yeah.
blood is a black. That's somebody black. Yes.
Yeah.
I probably don't say blood as much anymore. I say king a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all my boys, what's up, king? You good? Yeah.
We'll take
Bless,
those. We'll take those.
Bless up, yeah, bless.
Yeah, say bless.
Do y'all say ones and ones?
Yeah. We say
What does that
we
mean?
say one as in it's like I'll normally say it when I'm leaving.
Is that like bye?
Oh, like one, like peace.
Yeah.
That's a like.
So you just say
That's more
one
like
when
New
you
York.
leave.
It's like New York stuff. Like one. It's like
so I'd
I'm
be
out.
like, I say, yes, King, you good?
Where you been at?
Yeah. Anyway, I got
Wow.
to bounce. I got to go over here do this podcast. All right, bruv. One.
Okay, tell
run.
people how they can get in touch with you.
Yeah, that's New York.
Yeah.
One.
It's okay. DJ Maintain, tell people how they can contact you if they want to get in contact.
Yeah, sure. All my social mediums are at DJ Maintain, DJMAIN, TAIN, and that's on everything because I'm unique and nobody
like that.
grabbed this. Nobody grabbed the DJ name before me.
Yeah.
So
Go with that. Thank you so much for coming into our podcast.
Thank you for having
we
me.
Appreciate
It's been
it.
really, really enjoyable.
Yeah, guys, make sure you like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, hit the bell for notifications so that you can get all the notifications for the Repat podcast because they're coming in hotter and we're having guests and it's getting bigger and bigger.
Subscribe.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of money. Y'all haven't donated no money. You talk a lot of in the comments, but you don't give no money. Shut up talking to me, all right?
Also, follow us on all our social media pages. Kengana Nation Instagram, Kengana Nation Facebook, Kengana Nation Twitter. And can we all do the one together? So it's like
One.
togetherness.
One.
One.
Bless up. Peace.